So this video about So this video about LARP in media is brought to you from this awesome location and by the power of a new green screen. Roll the intro. Greetings, fellow adventurers. Fred here, and welcome to LARP Saga. And LARP has been popping up in media a lot in recent years, from movies, TV, advertising, you name it. And I haven't seen a YouTube channel talk about different times LARP has popped up in these mediums, and I felt I should change that. So today we are looking at a few different instances LARP has popped up in media, and I'll give you my impressions of each one. So without further ado, let's dive into this list. First off, let's start off with the ESPN Good vs. Bad Fantasy commercial. Well, where do I start with this one? This ad came out relatively early in my days on YouTube, and it sparked a big uproar from the community, and even triggered the hashtag badass fantasy hashtag, where LARPers show off pics of themselves and their kits or having fun at a LARP. But this ad, while I can understand why it irked some people, I can actually see how they actually were not that as bad on LARP as people make it out to be. First off, the costuming. The costumes that the more experienced LARPers had that you see at the beginning, they really had some thought put into them and effort. Secondly, it showed that the LARP community shows concern for new players. In the case of the new guy who showed up with a cardboard and paper sword and wearing football armor, it showed that they care about him getting into the swing of things, and were willing to provide a sword from their own arsenals for him to use in game. And at the tail end of the trailer, when he's playing fantasy football on his tablet, we don't know if he did or didn't take part in combat and was just taking a break, because those combats can take a lot out of you. So while I can understand people's outcry over this ad, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. In my experience, Supernatural is where a lot of people first discovered where LARP is. I personally discovered this footage when I was scrounging around the internet looking for stuff about LARP, especially on YouTube, which at the time there wasn't a lot of it. Yes, there was a time when there wasn't a lot of LARP stuff on YouTube, and what was there was cringy, but more on that later. The episode is of Sam and Dean Winchester examining a case of what turns out to be an overzealous player enslaving a Fae to sabotage another faction at a LARP game. It's a fantastical look at what can happen when people take something a little too far when it's just a game. My only gripe with this episode is that the weapons are actually wooden weapons. I mean, they may fly at Society for Creative Anachronisms, but not at Larp. Darragh O'Brien is an Irish stand-up comedian who back in 2007 did a show called Tough Gig, where he gave a stand-up comedy routine to a bunch of live-action role players, and this segment was really ahead of its time in terms of showing LARPers proper respect for what they do, and the jokes were just really good for someone who had just been LARPing for a few hours, and he made it clear that they had to be out of character for this because he couldn't handle them in character, which made the experience seem a lot more enjoyable, and it ended perfectly. Finally, we have Knights of Badassdom. Hell yes. This movie is one of my favorite indie movies of all time, hands down. The humor is great, the acting is engaging, and the story of a hero whose love dumped him and he finds new love when his friends take him LARPing, throw in some real magic and fighting a real monster into it, and you've got a fun, unorthodox experience that you'll be hard pressed to find anywhere else. But what sells me on this movie wholeheartedly is the heavy metal references. My favorite being this one here.
It's like a metal wall cover.
Referring to the true metal band that I love dearly. And those of you who know me know I love me some heavy metal. But I do have a couple gripes with the film in terms of realism, like the drug use that is prevalent in the film would not fly at a real LARP site. They use mushrooms a lot in this film. And the second thing is, how the hell did they get real weapons onto the LARP site? Those things should have been thrown out of the venue for having those on hand. And finally, this isn't a film that I'd break out for just about anyone, because because there are a lot of jokes, particularly racy jokes, that would just not fly in today's politically correct environment. But it's still a movie I love and will pop it on whenever I get a chance. Overall, LARP has come a long way on the big and small screen since the mid-2000s, and has even found a home on YouTube with channels such as my own, LARP Mix and The LARP Girl, among many more, and more coming out every now and then. So those have been my thoughts on some of the instances where LARP made it into mainstream media. Let me know what you thought of these instances in the comments down below. And if you want me to do more of these. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss another video. You can find links down below to my social media as well as the pages where you can support the channel. You can also find an email where you can drop me a line. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the trail of adventure.